So it's a week on since RecFest. There's been plenty of buzz on LinkedIn. It's great to see the chatter about it and loads of people waxing on about how good it was, and it's, yeah, certainly right, it was a great day. I had loads of great chats like in between all the sessions, and so what I've done is I've actually captured some of those conversations and put it all together in an episode just for you guys. So let's get on with the chat. All right, Adrian, so predictions for today. Let's go.
For today, Chris. Right, well, weather-wise, I think the sun is going to win out. The rain's going to hold off. There's a really good vibe here already this morning. It's going to start a little slow. There's some coffees, there's some warming up, there's some nice conversations and reconnecting. Then I think it's going to get a little bit serious. For us vendors, there's going to be a little bit of opportunity to try and get some new relationships. Yeah. Come 12, 1 o'clock, I think that's when the celebration is going to start. We can kiss the business goodbye and we can have some fun with everyone and celebrate TA.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, let's see. I think you're right though. Definitely sunburns and hangovers for tomorrow.
And hangovers. You're going to come back and celebrate with us this afternoon too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice, absolutely, nice. We'll see you there, Chris.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye.
Really excited to be here at RecFest today. I just love coming to RecFest every year. I think my first one was in like 2017, so I've been coming for a long time.
Pioneer.
I know, and I just love seeing like old friends, old colleagues, and there's some really good talks happening today, and I just feel like it's a really good day to get inspiration, meet lots of new people. Yes, you know, the day of the year for anyone who works in this industry.
I just want to connect with lots of other peers to understand what their challenges are. Some of our biggest challenges are volume hiring.
Of course,
so that's a hot topic. And trying to forecast what peak's going to look like for everyone this year and where they're at with that. But also there's some amazing speakers, some we know, some we don't. So I think just taking snippets from everything is just such a brilliant opportunity that you don't always get.
Lovely, and Basement Jacks this evening, so everyone's a winner. It's great. Yeah. So there's a big EVP tent over there. So
I know.
It's good to see, isn't it?
It's massive. Look at it. I mean, cracking. I was in there earlier. Great talk with Total Jobs Stepstone Group.
Okay.
And there was like, it must have been 500 people in there, and queuing out the door as well. That to me says that, you know, EVP is well on the radar of TA.
100%. Yeah.
And it needs to just get broader. Do you know what I mean? The whole of HR needs to really embrace the power of a really strong EVP.
Definitely.
And the last role I did absolutely did that. It was all about employee experience, culture. EVP was integral to that. You know, it's not just a stepping stone to an employer brand. Employer brand's really important. But employer brand is mostly attraction focused. And what we need to think about is retention. You know, that's the big topic that everyone's worried about at the moment is retention. So I think it's amazing that EVP is such a big topic here. And yeah, I've really enjoyed listening to the talks.
Well, I'm looking forward to chat with you about it in more depth in our upcoming episodes and all that. So
yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, enjoy the day.
Thank you. Cheers, Chris.
When you come to something like RecFest, what do you look to get out of it, really?
So I think myself, I would be looking to get out of it probably something a bit different than maybe somebody coming up in the industry.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think an event like this is great because you can tailor it to your needs and what you want. So having been in the industry for a long time, I've developed a great network of people that I value and that I like to be able to share ideas with and also see in person and have fun with, right?
Yes.
And given that I don't get out as much these days as I used to because I'm busy with work and kids like most of us are, I use this as an opportunity for us to get together, network, see them, find out and keep up with what they're doing. Absolutely, I do learn a thing or two, right? We start talking about influences of, I don't know, ChatGPT or how are you using this or some of the complexities of what they're dealing with. So for me, it's more the value of the conversations that I'm having, probably more than anything else. I will go to a couple talks and even some that are even more focused maybe on UK, whereas I'm global. You know, if you pick up a thing or two or glean a thing or two that are little pockets or nuggets that you can take back with you, to me, you can sometimes take those nuggets and amplify them in different ways. So even when I walk into something going, I know all about this topic, I'm not going to learn anything. You know, if I have one little nugget that I take back with me or one statistic, you know, that's time well spent. So it's good fun. But I think, you know, especially if you're up and coming or maybe, you know, 10 years in, 5 years in, into your career, you know, this is a treasure trove of, you know, experience, both people meeting the people, I think, is the hugest part, right? And Jamie's done a great job of getting people together in an environment that's laid back and fun. Yeah,
absolutely. Good times. I think sunburns and hangovers tomorrow. I think I reckon.
Yeah, that's usually on the cards.
I would say, especially with the vendors that are around in terms of technology, it's been significantly more people that we've seen in that recruitment tech space, just in and around the place. And then when we hear some of the speeches that have happened today, how can you automate, how can you use ChatGPT, how can you use AI, how can you essentially use technology to make your processes better, faster, and more candidate focused.
And the only build on that is the human. We've seen a lot of them around AI, using AI, but there was one which really caught my eye, was how the humans using AI will take your job.
Yeah, I love that title,
really cool. That kind of, more around like, what are the people that are going to be using these, how can we train them? Love that.
Yeah, because ultimately, even with technology, it's in our industry, it's all about people.
Yeah, exactly.
Connections, relationships, teams, and how you can encourage them to build a great culture. So we can't ever lose that human element.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Like something like AI is seen as a cheat code, but in a negative way. Is that what they're cheating? Well, it's not like you may cheat at school, but no. If you find someone who can use AI in the right way, you want them in your business.
It's a good cheat. It's a good cheat.
It's definitely.
It's a good cheat code.
Especially from
kind of like the dawn of the internet. Because
you
imagine when, back in the noughties, before that in the 90s, people weren't able to find things quicker, search for information. It wasn't organised. It was usually a lot of word of mouth or the group think within your specific arena. Whereas now, internet, social media, that was a big cheat code, and this I think is going to take it to the next level.
Oh, massively. Good to see you at RecFest. I'd say it's great to be at these events and see people in person. Your talk today, well attended, really liked it. You were talking about some big numbers, so let's have a bit of a takeaway from the theme of the talk you gave.
Yeah, so the numbers are the hero almost. Like the work is the move from reactive to proactive. Like that's where the cool stuff happens. Like if you're always fighting fires, that's all you ever do. And I spoke about the fast, cheap and good. Cheap, unfortunately, is a non-negotiable. Good, we should have the pride in the work we're doing. So fast is the bit we need to change. And by doing that, IBM's been able to create some crazy opportunities. We have seen 25% efficiencies in the team. We've reduced our time to apply, and that's generated IBM the revenue opportunity of $52 million a year. So it's not insignificant.
No, it's pretty massive. And it's great, like you spoke to Matt on his podcast back in December time, and it's all about this thing about making sure that what we're doing is seen as absolutely business critical, which is about talking about ROI in the right way. That's what Ben talked about on my recent episode with him. So it's great you guys are on stage.
We've been saying as TA leaders for years, we're on the seat at the table. Let's bring a conversation that's comparable to the other people with a seat at the table.
100%.
Like everyone else talking about revenue and they're talking about this, and we're talking about an NPS and we hired in this time. Like it's embarrassing, and that's why we don't stay at the table. So talk the language that room is, and you will be invited back to a seat at the table. But also the other leaders, the sales and marketing folks, they'll support you. So just stop saying NPS everywhere, please.
Good man. Thank you, mate. Cheers.
No worries.
Good stuff. It's good to see you, mate.
It's good to see you, mate.
So, from Argentina to the UK, I must admit, I was as a previous guest a few times on the pod. It's great to see your face in the crowd. What brings you to the UK?
Well, I moved in here.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Been a week here, staying in Reading, so
exciting, man.
Getting acclimatized to the UK life. But yeah, so far so good. This is my first getting my feet wet into the employer branding world in England. So really excited to be here. You were saying before about you don't really have anything like this in the EB space in Argentina, or this doesn't exist.
No, okay.
Even though there are some practitioners, employer branding practitioners in Latin America. This sense of community and all of us coming together, learning from each other, this doesn't exist. At least in the employer branding or recruitment space.
Nice. What's it? Coming to stuff like this, then what does it mean? I mean, when you go back to work, how does it help you doing coming to things like this event?
Well, there's a lot of food for thought. So right now we just had a talk, a keynote about AI and creativity. So it's actually not just networking, but like getting ideas, just writing them in your notepad and start thinking about what things you can take into your work, how you can adapt them, improve them. It's just all food for thought.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Boy, it's good to see you, man. Great to see you. What is kind of the burning topic that needs one of the most discussion at this type of event?
I think it's talent identification. I think that we are overlooking huge parts of talent, from neurodiverse talent to talent that isn't white, to talent that is female because of our biases. And we've now come to a place where we are actually able to use technology to actually assess talent in the correct way. So what we're now seeing is that a lot more data available to actually know which parts of the selection process are biased, which is in part, for example, we thought assessments were doing a really great job. Now we're finding out that they're screening out neurodiverse candidates, that they're screening out people with a bicultural heritage because of language issues, because of this, because of that. But we're also seeing possibilities to actually enhance those technologies, or completely rebuild usually those technologies, because it's almost impossible to mitigate bias when it's already in the system. But if we rebuild it from the ground up using the new best practices, it is possible to do the right thing. And all of a sudden there's an amazing amount of talent available. And let's be very honest, as recruiters, we've been having an average quality of hire rate from about 50%. If you HR.com researched this a couple of years ago, they asked hiring managers how many of the people you hired last year would you rehire again after 12 months.
Right. Yeah.
It was under 50%.
Wow, shocking.
Can you imagine one job which is allowed a 50% failure rate? I mean, if only 50% of your salary would be paid, you would hate accounts payable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
If only 50% of your data was secure, if only 50% of your legal was actually legal, your contracts were legal. It's ridiculously low that we put the bar.
It is, yeah.
We're now finding out not just that we're basically not selecting the right talent, but also how we could be doing it. So we are actually redefining how we are looking at talent. And the amazing thing is, we're broadening our talent pools in a time where so many people are out of work, while we're looking for so many people. And it turns out the skill gap is much less than we think if we actually look at the genuine skills we're looking for.
Yeah, true. Very true, yeah. So, it's packed today, sun's out, got the drinks out. It's a good day, isn't it? RecFest is well and truly, in full flow. We've got things like the EVP tent here, loads of chat around employer brand. From your perspective, from onboarding, what does it mean to have that kind of prominence of employer brand at something like this?
Oh, it's so important. And actually, in terms of EVP and employer branding, it's just so important to be able to get your employer brand out within your onboarding process. And I think there's been a lot of chat today on that stage around how you can do better at talent attraction. There's been a lot of chat about AI.
Oh, loads, yeah.
But really, if you go back to basics of onboarding, it's actually how can you communicate. Let me don't crash. How can you communicate with your new hires your real and true values and what it really means to work at your organisation and your true employer brand? And we're just about to speed up.
Whoa, we're going for turbo version now.
It might be that you're doing really, really well in terms of a talent attraction, but when people have actually accepted that job, are you still maintaining that employer brand? Are you still actually showing what it means to work at your company before they join? Because I think a lot of people I talk to in the industry are saying we do a great job at attracting people, but they're dropping out before day one.
Starting.
So there's been a lot of chat around that. Really enjoyed some of the stages, and I mean, obviously enjoyed chatting about onboarding, but also completely randomly talking about other experiences and diversity in recruitment and neurodiversity, and yeah, just had a really good day, and caught up with a lot of people I haven't seen for 10 years.
Yeah, that is really awesome actually, meeting everybody. It's I think it's something like this is a good example where if you're going to do an in-person event these days, make sure it's as good as this, because it's just great to spend time with people you haven't seen for ages.
No, I think it's been it's been really good. But yeah, in terms of subject matter and onboarding, definitely good to see people are doing more around that aspect, especially with AI. But I'd like to see more around the employer branding piece and talking around how you could actually get your employer brand out at that stage rather than just the talent attraction. How can you continue that throughout the whole process from hire through to joining, and then beyond with internal recruitment and that kind of thing, and internal comms, which is so important.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers for the chat, Sarah.
No problem.
Let's get on with the ride.
It's going a little bit fast.
It is, isn't it? I was a bit. Don't go any faster, please.
It's not going to go this fast, especially after a cider or two.
I think the guys leant on the handle. Well, Rich, RecFest has been a cracker. The weather's been great and
glorious.
You've been here all day, yeah?
I've been here, definitely. I'm feeling it now. Yeah. What's
been for you guys? What's the good thing about coming to something like RecFest? We've got 5,000 people here. It's a great setup, So what is it about it? It's good to.
I think the best thing is actually I feel like I've spoken to 5,000 people as well. Like it's the I think that the content is a nice aside in some ways. Like it's the networking, it's the getting to see people that you've not seen in months or even years occasionally, and kind of reconnecting, seeing like suppliers or clients, whatever just seeing and chatting to people and catching up, and I think that's really valuable. I like talking to people in real life, and obviously events like this allow you to do that, and that for me is the best bit about coming to something like this.
I think it's great because you got talks that are happening, and that can then just spin off an idea when you're then chatting with people in between the talks. Stuff can come from that. I've had conversations where it's like, okay, there's some cool things we can do.
There's been some interesting chat around AI. I think it's probably
it was a very much AI afternoon. I think.
So from the chats or the talks that I've been to. AI is the one that stands out and I'd be interested, I think, to see more of that in future, to see how that's going to impact various elements of our sector. I saw a talking about it from a creative angle, and I think that's absolutely fascinating. So it'd be interesting to see how that, giving that same talk almost in a year's time and how that evolves could be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, totally. It's really AI is just another paintbrush, isn't it? Ultimately, it's the tool that an artist uses, a creator uses. So I think it's exciting times to what can be done with creativity and technology.
Yeah, I think it gives it gives an outline. I wouldn't necessarily it's the whole paintbrush. I think it's fair enough, it gives a structure or a kind of a points you possibly in the right direction. But at the moment, I don't think there's many parts of our industry or processes that could be left to AI's own devices just yet. But it's really intriguing.
But it frees up. I think that's the thing. Is like if you don't have to do one thing as much, then you can think about strategy more and creativity more, which means then you're going to get better work. And I think that's a really exciting piece. The job. Someone said, I think it was Matt Alder said, jobs don't disappear, it's just tasks will disappear or get less. And I think that's a really interesting space for me.
And the tasks therefore evolve.
True. Well, let's come back next year and find out.
See what happens.